Otherwise, talking women here on SAFM. I'm Nancy Richards, and the rest of the team is Hazel Magwazeni and Derek Fordyce, all with you through until 2 o'clock. With a very business-like mind we have on today, as per our July theme here on Otherwise, Women in Business. So first up, we're going to be talking to a woman whose Fountain of Beauty business has won her a Best SMME award in her area. We'll find out how she did that. After that, co-founder of The Hub, which is a co-working space for social innovators and entrepreneurs, will be talking a little bit about their upcoming event, making social entrepreneurship practical. Then in the other half, more business. The founder of a very spirited international award innovation talks about their objectives and their South African winner, one of their South African winners. And finally, another finalist in the Shoprite Checkers Women of the Year Awards. And this time she's in that socio-economic category, but she's talking farming. So do stay with us for all of that, especially if you're a woman in business or one who wants to be, because who knows, you may just learn something. But first up, what's news? Well, with 160,000 teenage pregnancies recorded in the last 2 years, that's according to Stats SA, Minister of Basic Education Angie Motshekga has called on all stakeholders, that's civil society as well as other departments, and faith-based communities to help stamp out this trend, more especially as pregnancies were becoming more frequent in primary schools as well. Former Idol star Karen Corky, who seemed to have got her life back on track following a whole series of difficulties and poor decisions. She seemed to have got her life back on track. You might remember she performed in a biographical musical called This Is My Life a while ago. Yesterday, however, she fell off the wagon, I'm afraid, and was arrested for drunk driving. Congratulations to Miss Africa. She's 22-year-old Miss Kutlwano Mpoe, and she was crowned over the weekend. A fourth-year education student she is at Tshwane University of Technology. Well done to her. Here in the Cape, heavy rains over the last 24 hours, and apparently a whole lot more to come. So do spare a thought for the many displaced people whose homes have been flooded out, especially on the low-lying areas of Khayelitsha. And if you are a victim of flooding, the city's 24-hour Help Technical Operations Centre number is, one to make a note of, 0860 10 389. That's 0860 10 389. Well, cold weather brings it lots of cold and misery and flu, so extra vitamins where possible, vitamin C in particular. But how much is enough? Well, the box I've got says 1,000 milligrams per adult per day. But the Vitamin C Foundation recommends 3 times that much, with 6,000 if you're pregnant and between 20 and 300,000 milligrams if you're sick, which seems to me like a super uber-duper dose, but probably best you ask your doctor or chemist what they think. But if you want to try and get it naturally, there's lots in fruit and vegetables, citrus fruits, black currants, peppers, green vegetables like broccoli in particular, fruits like strawberries, if you can find them at this time of year, guavo, mango, kiwi, particularly rich. And also important are potatoes, good old potatoes, cabbage, spinach and tomatoes. A medium-sized glass of freshly squeezed orange juice, and they are in season at the moment, yields between 15 to 35 milligrams of vitamin C. And what does it do, in fact? Well, let me tell you, it stimulates the immune system. It's also an antioxidant. It's very good for wound healing, aids iron absorption, and it's very good for teeth health and teeth and gums and eye health. So why wouldn't you want to take it? On the green front, our national bird, the blue crane, remains on the endangered list, with 85% of the population critically endangered. Unlike the more than common African rat, which I see in the paper today is used to sniff out landmines in Mozambique. Shame. And just FYI, the United Nations estimates that approximately 44 million of the world's 110 million landmines are right here on African soil. Better news, though, on the green front is that in the Makasi Hills local municipality, it's thought that 300 jobs are expected to be created in beefing up the primary waste management workforce. So that's at least a little bit of good news. Stay with us, it's Otherwise.
Otherwise on SAFM.
Well, Otherwise being very business-like in this month of July, looking at women in business. And don't forget, if you've got a story, a business-like story that you'd like to share with us, you are so welcome. You can pop us an email on otherwise@safm.co.za or find us on Facebook. Tell us there, we're at Otherwise on SAFM. Well, first up then, Fountain of Beauty. It's a business. It's a wholesale retail and service provision company. It was started back in 2007 by Paula Maleka, who is now the proud winner of the best SMME in the Vaal area, the SMME being small, medium and macro enterprise business in the Vaal area. And we've got Paula on the line. Hi, Paula.
Hi, how are you?
Well, I'm not as good as you are. Congratulations. You must be absolutely thrilled.
I'm so humbled by this award, and I just want to thank God for great supporters that I have around me.
Good, good. Well, it's wonderful to get the award and the recognition. It's also good to get the money that comes with it. But Paula, let's learn a little bit from your experience. Just explain exactly what your business does and why it's when you started it and why you chose this particular industry.
Thank you for that question. Firstly, this comes from out of passion. I'm passionate about beauty industry. Yes, and there are women outside there that they want to look beautiful. But what I can tell you is that beauty starts from within, and it comes from outside. I started this business 2007. By then, I did not understand what is this business all about. But with all the support that I have, I'm where I am today, and I won that award, and I'm so much grateful.
So how did you start it? You say you had a passion for it, but what did you do? Where did you get the money, and what did you actually start with?
Where did I get the money? I did not get money from anywhere. There's no one who gave me 10 rand to start this business. First, it was out of passion, and I've been supporting myself. It was out of my own pocket. You know, where there's a will, there's a way. If you really want it to happen, it will happen.
But what did you do? Did you
of the challenges around you?
But what did you do? Did you buy products? How did you start?
How did I start? I started being a cataloger of the old, it's a pleasure company, whereby they give you a catalog. I used to go house to house, selling those lingerie to people that were interested, and I gathered the money from that. And I went from, it's a pleasure company, to GNLD, whereby they were selling health and wellness products. And we used to recruit people to buy and to sell for themselves. Then I gathered the money from that. Then hence now I'm running this formal business from where I started. In fact, I started many years back, 1983, as a cataloger.
Crikey.
To 2007, now when I've got a formal beauty shop.
Okay, so it's an actual shop. You've got a retail outlet.
Yes.
And are you buying up products, or are you creating the products?
I'm doing 3 categories. Firstly, I'm running beauty services like manicure, pedicure, facials, hair studio, massage. And I also retail. I have my own perfume, Pobla perfume, whereby I'm giving the community an opportunity to buy them preferably affordably, or else they can buy in bulk to go and sell. You know, that this is what makes us the most different people from the rest, because we don't only do services only, but we also help the community by buying in bulk and selling to themselves. And what I like most also is that as a salon industry, I'm not seeing other salon owners as my competitors, but I'm seeing myself buying in bulk and supplying to them.
Okay, so where are you? Are you the sole provider of this particular perfume, or are you having it made specially for you?
It's making special for me, but I'm in partnership with Chem City.
Okay,
Yes.
That was very creative of you. And how does it work? Can people buy up small amounts and then go and sell them to other people? I mean, have you got sort of a smaller entrepreneurs working for you or with you?
Yes, we have got channel partners or agent, or you call them consultants or representative, whereby they can come with an amount of 200 rand or more or less, buy few products to go and sell for themselves. There are so many matriculants there that are not working. Some did not make it to tertiary. Some, because of point level system, they don't make it. But these people want to put plates on the table. Some have got children, some don't have children. Some come from very disadvantaged family. But now what do we do with them? We give them an opportunity to empower themselves. Because all the government institutions that we have, they cannot employ everyone. So what can we do? What difference can we make in their lives? That is why this passion for beauty, especially the hair pieces that I'm supplying them with, I'm saying get them affordably. Go behind the shack or in the shack or anywhere to run services for you to have a living.
Yeah. But
Yes.
do you train them? Because when people go out selling your product, I mean, it's important that they, that the brand is upheld. Do you give them some sort of training yourself?
We do train them. I choose employees that have been to school, that they are very good in this industry. If I can't train them, I let them go to other trainees to expertise in this industry. But the perfume industry, I've been to a course that I know what the perfume is all about. I do train. But now the manicure, the pedicure, I do send them to other colleges or other workshops. But now, one of my passions because of that question, hence I want to buy Planet Nails franchise. Because the Planet Nail franchise, they do the training of lashes, of nails, and these people become experts in this industry. Then they can go out there and start their own businesses.
Have you yourself undergone all the services that you're offering? Have you done that training as well?
I didn't go to beauty industry like going to know how to do nails. But what amazes me is that I'm passionate about it. I love beauty. I'm beautiful myself. And when I travel the world, the first thing that I want to see the beauty industry. And when I meet people, the first thing I'll identify, I say, oh, your nails are beautiful. Oh, your makeup, you look beautiful. Oh, you're dressed so coordinately well. Yeah, I'm just passionate. I don't have to go to school for me to love this, but it's within me. It just flows within outward.
I see why you're saying now that beauty comes from within. You've obviously learned with your eyes.
Yes.
But Paula, even you, beautiful as you are from the inside and the outside, is it not very difficult times to be making a business right now? I mean, a lot of people are financially cash-strapped. The first thing you're going to let go is maybe the extra haircut, maybe the nails. Is it, or hairdo, should I say? Are you not finding it quite difficult at this time?
As difficult as it is through the recession where we come from, when you start a business, you've got to answer this big question. Why do you do what you are doing? Because the why will take you through, irrespective of the challenges. I remember when I started this business 2007, I did not understand the industry. I did not know what is a signage. I did not know the laying of my shop, But today I'm where I am because if there is a will, if you are passionate about what you are doing, it has got believability. It goes with faith. It goes with persisting, and not allowing any mountain to be a stumbling block in before you. To know that you can. And the other thing is to associate with successful people. You choose friends that will celebrate your victory. You choose friends that will say, Paula, you can. Then you attend to workshops, that will really empower you. Like I'm part of the Old Mutual Legend program implemented by Fedula. They give you all the strategies, all the skills. They deal with the basics. How can you make it? Hence, I'm where I am today.
Well, Paula, lovely. I mean, you're a real testimony. Fetola, we've heard about Fetola. We've had them here on the programme, so a real testimony to the fact that their work works. Paula, well done. And if anybody wants to find you, can they Google Fountain of Beauty, or have you got a website or a phone number? Which?
People can contact me on my email address is Paula Maleka at mweb.co.za.
Yes.
.co.za.
Wonderful. And once again, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to really tell a story about how I started my business. I would really love to tell new emerging entrepreneurs my story. I've got a lovely story to encourage them.
Okay, well,
and
I'm going to give
before I go off, I want to also thank the Lusa Community Chest. They gave me an opportunity also.
Lovely. Thanks, Paula. We're going to give out your email once again. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Paula Maleka, and if you would like to get in touch, it's Paula Maleka, M-A-L-E-K-A, at mweb.co.za, certainly proving that it's not just about the business, it's the passion that goes with it. Do stay tuned.
This is SAFM.
Well, Well, it sure is, and it's a wonderful thing. I mean, that just goes to show that it's not just about education, it's about what you bring it, it's about your determination and your passion, and has Paula got it in chunks or what? Lovely to hear that. Well, anyone who's thinking about starting a business will know that one of the biggest issues is where are you going to work from, because working from home is not always feasible. And if it is, it's sometimes lonely, which is where the hub concept comes in, and it's designed to solve all those issues. Well, what they're doing is not only solving that particular issue, but we're going to hear from one of the co-founders, she's Leslie Donner, talking not just about the hub itself, but also about their Making Social Entrepreneurship Practical challenge. We got her on the line. Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Nancy. How are you doing?
Excellent. Nice to have you with us. Very briefly, for those who don't know about the hub, just tell us how you operate.
Sure. So the hub is a shared working space for entrepreneurs who are keen on making some form of impact in society. So people come over and they're hot desks, they bring their laptops and they get to work. So we've got all the basic infrastructure of a working office environment. We're also a community, so people often look for opportunities to share opportunity and resources with each other. There's quite a bit of collaboration that we foster through our events, and also hosting and understanding what the real needs of the entrepreneurs in our space have. And because of that, we get to broker relationships and opportunities for them.
So entrepreneurs generally you're looking at, but in particular social entrepreneurs, and I think that's where you come in with this event that you've got coming up. Tell us what it's all about.
Yes. So social entrepreneurship is quite a confused term in South Africa, and I'm personally quite passionate about just getting clarity around what that means.
Oh, good. Go for it.
Whereas traditional entrepreneurs focus on maximizing profits, social entrepreneurs recognize and appreciate the business acumen that traditional business brings, but they use the principles of business in creating change in society. So it's directly related to their function in their work. It's not a sideline CSI activity. And so they, to a large extent, have the heart of an NGO leader, but with using business practices and, find the balance of making sure that you are a proper functioning business with cash flow, but using it to create good.
So it's the best of both worlds, because as you quite rightly say, NGOs very often are all heart and no business, and businesses are sometimes, token gesture, CSI and heart. So this is combining the two. So your event is happening on the 26th of July. What are you going to be offering there?
So yes, it is an event, and we're making it a fun way to have people understand what social entrepreneurship is about. And we don't think us giving a traditional lecture will bring the message home. We also believe that sustainability and an ecological way of thinking needs to be at the center of your business. So we're going to have 5 teams competing to come up with a socially entrepreneurial solution to society. So we'll basically give them 5 case studies, or each team will have a case study, and they have to come back and we'll provide the indicators of what we believe makes a good social enterprise. So at the end of the day, you need to create impact and be profitable. But like I say, having the heart to create change in society. The winning team will then present to a panel of judges, and the winning team gets to have lunch with David Lewis, who's the former head of the Competition Tribunal of South Africa.
Wow. Are they hypothetical cases that they're going to be working on, or is it the real thing they're offering?
It's still real case studies.
Okay.
So we've done a few things over the past 2 months. The first is we've interviewed about 20 different corporates in South Africa to find out who understands what sustainability is about and how do they go about practicing it in their own business. We've also gone around to various communities and collected real proper issues that are happening at field level. And I think, quite often when corporates enter into communities, it's with a CSI approach. But there's also quite a buzz about base of the pyramid. And the two are actually interlinked. So if you do want to push your products on, you need to make sure that it's meeting a real need. And that's the difference between meeting a real need and product dumping.
Yeah, so it's got to be genuine. Leslie, you're breaking up a little bit, but hopefully you can hear us. The good news, I believe, and I have to say the whole thing sounds like a little bit like a TV game show. Everybody's going to be, it sounds like it's going to be lots of fun. Have you already identified the people who are going to be taking part?
We've invited quite a number of our corporate partners. We've invited Nestle, Standard Bank, ABSA. So the nice thing about the Hub being able to host this event is that we are not competing, and we're not asking companies to compete against each other. They will be mixed up in different groups. So it's really the learning that they get to take home and can implement in their own business.
One of the, and we're very pleased to hear this, and I think one of the people or one of the organisations that will be presented as best practice is, and I'm just going to do a quick shake the world here, of the little bracelet people, Shake the World. They're going to be presented as best practice. We've heard a lot about Shake the World. We know what they do. We know the good work that they're doing, and we even sort of announced the figures here on the programme. But just in your words, just outline for us why they amount to a best practice as an organisation.
We're really excited about Shake the World because, it was actually a connection to it that got the deal flowing. But essentially, the bracelets promote Millennium Development Goals. So there's 8 bracelets and each represent a different goal. It's also a income-generating project for Africa Ignite based in rural KZN. So by wearing the bracelets, you firstly create awareness of the Millennium Development Goals. Income generator for women, and Edgar's as a partner has been quite interesting because they are selling it and they have the choice to do it for profit, but they decided to invest the funds into furthering the initiative.
Yeah. It's the profit thing that really comes into it. I'm just thinking, one can work with a larger organisation, or if an individual is wanting to be a social entrepreneur, as you've described it, They really do have to think in terms of profit. There really has got to be something that they can take home so that they can sustain themselves, because you can't help anybody else unless you're helping yourself. Yeah. Do you offer any sort of advice for the individual on that score?
Well, I want to give you a quick example of where that plays out. A week ago, I did a team building strategy session for a huge NGO dealing with children with disabilities. They have 6 months before doors close because they have income to sustain them. I have a friend who's doing exactly the same work. Her child was diagnosed with Down syndrome 4 years ago, or he was born with Down syndrome. She's doing exactly the same work, but in a profitable way. And she came on board to advise the NGO on how to go about their work. So regardless of the issue, I think that there is definitely a way or solution to sustain yourself in a profitable way when doing your work. And we encourage those lost souls or people who want to do good to come to the Hub, because there are a community of like-minded people who've been through the struggle with you. So the first is that, just the peer mentoring that we have at the Hub. The second thing is our Hub Business Clinic that provides technical skills training on how to run your business. And then thirdly, we're launching our Hub Fellowship program in 3 months in October that supports the individual in taking the idea to concept and getting it investor ready. And the trouble is, in South Africa, few people and incubators want to invest in the guy with the idea. Everybody expects someone to have ready financials when you're 6 months old to 2 years old. And we're saying, hey, come along with your idea and let's work with you to bring this to life.
Leslie, we're talking about the Hub in Johannesburg, but I believe that there are 28 hubs all over the world. Are there any in other? There used to be one in Cape Town. Are there any in other centres in South Africa?
There's a lot of interest in both Cape Town and re-establishing the Hub, as well as Port Elizabeth. So I think just keep watching our website, and we'll also announce when that happens. There's a lot of interest. The next hub in Africa will probably be Kenya. Okay. There's a very strong team. So yes, there's actually 30 hubs at the moment. We've had interest of over 900 entrepreneurs who want to open up hubs around the world. So that's quite exciting. I'm on the board of Hub International.
Yeah.
So part of my role is looking at how to create a sustainable business model for hubs that come through the African pipeline.
Well, sorry, your line's really breaking up, but I think you've given us the most important thing is the fact that you've got a website. So I think if anybody would like to know more, and anybody can come to the event on the 26th of July at the Hub Joburg, can they?
Yes.
How much does it cost?
It's 2,000 Rand for corporate, and for 1,000 rand.
Okay, I'll just repeat that because that might have got lost there in the translation. Thanks very much. That's actually Leslie Donna Williams. She's co-founder of the Hub in Johannesburg. And if you didn't catch that, it's 2,000 rand for corporates, the event, and social entrepreneurs and NGOs, it's just 1,000 rand. Sounds like it certainly could be money well worth spending. And if you'd like to know a little bit more, you can check their site, which is http://Johannesburg.thehub, that's the-hub.net. Sorry, it's a bit of a mouthful. Johannesburg.the-hub.net. But we will put it up on our Facebook page here on Otherwise, so you can always check it. And if you want to give us a call, you can do that too on 0892 10 2010. Well, we're going to stay with business in the rest of the programme. In the other half, we're going to be talking to the co-founder of an organisation called Ogunte, also working with social innovations, and talking to another finalist in the 2012 ShopRite Checkers Woman of the Year Awards in the socio-economic category. So stay with us. But right now, do stay tuned, though. It's 1:30, time for the news headlines with Vic Naidu.
Thanks. Good afternoon. Chairperson of Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts, Themba Godi, has called for better planning to prevent debacles, such as the proposed purchase of a 2 billion rand aircraft for President Jacob Zuma. The Limpopo Education Department clerk arrested for dumping over 700 textbooks in Guyani, Limpopo, has been linked to another pile of textbooks found dumped, this time in the Zanin area. And the Independent Violence Monitor in KwaZulu-Natal, Mary de Haas, says corruption and jostling for tenders by political leaders is the main cause of the spate of killings in the province. More news at 2.
Thanks very much, Vic. But right now you're listening to Otherwise and thinking business. Well, coming up on the 21st of this month is the Checkers ShopRite Woman of the Year Award event. It's always a very glittering event, not least from the stellar lineup of women that it showcases doing such good work in the community. And in a minute, we're going to be talking to another one of the finalists, this time in the socio-economic category, which seems very appropriate in the light of what we've been hearing just now. But first, let's hear a little bit about Ogunte. It's the International Social Innovation Awards because one of the winners was South African Louise van Rhyn of Symphonia for South Africa. And founder of Ogunte is Servane Mouazan, who we spoke to earlier, to find out all about it.
Ogunte is an organization that supports women-led social ventures. I think it's very important to support sustainable development in general. And what attracts me is to see that through the lens of women. They are people who are doing lots of things in communities, in enterprises, in networks, campaigns, sometimes voluntarily, sometimes paid work. But it's worth sometimes exposing them, making them more visible and equip them a little bit more so that, they're making a bigger impact on people and planet. So that's the work we do. We equip them and we make them more visible.
What does Ogunte mean?
Ogunte is a female spirit, actually. She's like a mother and a warrior. She protects people who are traveling over the seas. It's a spirit you find in West Africa, but also in Brazil, in the Candomblé tradition. So it's just a name that was close to me, that was given to me, a spirit that was given to me a long time ago, and I discovered that actually it was absolutely suitable for the purpose I had, the mission I had.
Well, it certainly sounds like you would need the comfort of a female spirit to watch over, because I would imagine that you must travel a great deal, one way or another, maybe sort of virtually or in practice, because you're looking at women all over the world.
We are based in the UK, in London, so we work a lot with the people we can meet as well. But essentially, we've got a connection globally. And, when we talk about women are good at establishing networks, they're making friends, and they just happen to have friends all over the world nowadays. So people learn from each other, whatever the countries, and they actually regroup in communities of interest. And so, yes, our catchment is everywhere.
So you wait for people to nominate women who they think may be deserving of such an award?
For this specific case of the Women's Social Leadership Awards, women who have achieved substantial impacts can nominate themselves or ask someone or have someone nominate them. The thing is, the people who nominate these women have to know essentially how people have reached their social impact and how they overcome obstacles. So it's quite personal, actually. So it's okay to nominate yourself in this case because you really have to really know the nitty-gritty, the operations, and be able to explain them in a very, very clear way and succinct way. So we have both ways. They nominate themselves or they get nominated.
But it's not just about winning an award and winning yourself a title. It's also about networking with other women's organisations and also about skilling them.
Well, the event and the awards, it's like the icing on the cake. It's lovely, it's great, but there's a lot of things that happen before. We make sure that people tell their story from when they already are finalists. We encourage them and help them to tell their stories in the local press or the national press. We encourage them to make connections with other finalists who are relevant to them, so there's no competition at that stage whatsoever. It's about networking, connecting with relevant people. It's about learning, and it's about looking far beyond the awards day itself. It's looking at the sustainable development you want to support. Again, it's making it a network of relevant contacts that serve your purpose and that serve your beneficiaries.
You're looking for women operating in different areas, like what?
Yes, there are 3 categories actually we're looking at. The first is a social business category, so it speaks a little bit for itself. So there are people who have a social mission and who are achieving that through the entrepreneurial way. Now, and then we have networks and campaigns, so people who are not supposed to sell anything, but who depend largely on philanthropic means or donations, but who have let's put it this way, more charitable mission. So they find it more difficult to sell anything in order to reach their purpose. And the third category is the one that is sometimes forgotten, is the people in the workplace or people in intermediary organizations. They make things happen for others. They are catalysts, they are connectors, and they are sometimes second-tier or third-tier organizations who are a bit forgotten in the process, but they make so many things happen that we needed to recognize them.
I think that one of your winners has been an award winner has been a South African.
Yes, it's Dr. Louise van Rhyn. She's amazing. She got a great story because she set herself for the mission to really rectify the enormous issues that is facing South Africa in terms of education, and the fact is that over 20,000 schools are failing due to a disconnection of civil society. So her idea is to put business people, parents, children, head of schools together in the same place and really work together to make them work together so that they achieve the best for the children. And it's a very future-centric idea, and she's doing it. She's really made this happen.
What will she win?
She is winning actually mentoring opportunity by senior executive women. She has been able to put a story forward in national and international press, which she's doing already very well. You know, and she didn't need this award to do that, but it just gives the opportunity for others to look at her story and look at how she solves the issue so that they can be inspired well and replicate. And she also wins connections to major global networks that are partnering with us. So connection with other social entrepreneurs, quality social entrepreneurs and quality activists who do achieve real change. So they're not just talking about it, they do things for real. Yeah. So having her connected with them and them connected with her, it just accelerates her mission, basically, and other people's mission.
Yes, the inspirational aspect is not to be ignored. And I think that as a result of the awards, you've also created something called Make a Wave PI, which is like a sort of a pre-incubator for women social entrepreneurs.
Yes, exactly. Well, the awards have been existing for 6 years. So a few years ago, we realized that we learned a lot from all this application and all the comments that we had, and we realized that actually there needed to be more work on the starting phase of the impact investment route. So that means people who wanted to be given investment money, not by greedy investors, but by people who are patient and really want to do good. But women entrepreneurs that we knew needed more knowledge, and they needed to be better equipped to go in that route. So we put them in for a 6-month journey. They are having access to angel investors, impact investors. They learn the language, they learn the jargon, they learn to communicate their purpose in a way that everybody understands, and they learn to have more robust business models, and they learn to work together as peers as well. And that's the Makeaway Free Incubator.
As a matter of interest, do you find more material, if you like, for your awards coming from first world or from developing countries?
It's all different. The great thing with these women social entrepreneurs and activists is they all have sort of a really wide issue to solve. So we've got mature skills coming from all over the place. And they all tackle an issue that is relevant to their own country in particular, because they know their communities, they know that their stakeholders very well. But what we think is actually a lot of these solutions that are local can actually be duplicated in other places of the world. So our role is to really make the connections happen, to accelerate this. In the developing world and what we call developed world,
Yes.
they facing sometimes, unfortunately, the same issues. We have pockets of extreme poverty in more advanced economies, as we call them. That's not acceptable, that to be ranked as, on the top of the economies in the world. But seeing countries that haven't solved hunger or malnutrition or violence and that sort of things, this is appalling. So I think they all help each other. By connecting with each other, they actually could swap ideas and swap systems.
Yeah.
That could benefit everybody.
Just lastly, one of the things you say is that, gives the women an opportunity to put themselves out there in the international press. Is it also an opportunity for the women's work, the work that they're doing, to get to the attention of the country's governing bodies, but and hopefully see what's going on and recognise it or even utilise it?
Yes, this is one of the good things about our network, is that we are also connected with a larger organization that have an influence on policies. It's hard to compete with private lobbyists when we talk to governments, but our efforts to really make noise and make more noise and raise the awareness about all the work that these women do, and the men social entrepreneurs as well, is that we are gradually gaining ground and starting to be heard. And our point is to be able to sit in decision-making tables that do matter. All the point about awards is not just for the glitter and for the sparkle and the nice, high-rise in confidence for an evening, but it's also to make yourself heard constructively. So this is one of the aims and the progress that we have to make every day. And I think these award winners are fantastically skilled, and when they join their voices together, policymakers have to hear at some point. They do that only if you can evidence your impact. So this is one of the crucial elements of these awards, is you really have to be able to prove and evidence the impact you're making, not just words, but evidence is important.
That was Servane Mouazan. She's co-founder of Ogunte. Well, if you'd like more information about who they are and what they do, their Twitter handle is Ogunte. That's Ogunte, Ogunte. And if you want to find their site, www.ogunte.com. Once again, congratulations to Louise van Rhyn of Symphonia for South Africa. And if you'd like to find out more about what they do, their website is symphonia.net. That's SYMPHONIA, symphonia.net. Interesting to hear a little bit more about it. And we have spoken to Louise on the programme, but what she's basically doing is pairing businesses with schools to enable them to function better, which seems like such a good idea. And just whilst we're talking schools, maybe I can take this little Shake the World opportunity once again, shake of the bracelet, shake, take. And just to let you know that the Millennium Development Goal, which is to achieve universal primary education, is lime green. So if you fancy yourself a little lime green bracelet and children and their education is important to you, that's the one to buy. And you can buy them at Edgar's, and they are very cheap and reasonable. And they're doing lots of things to help lots of women all around the country. Stay with us.
Otherwise, with Nancy Richards.
Well, last but not least here on Otherwise, Judy Stewart. She's a finalist in the 2012 ShopRite Checkers Woman of the Year Awards in the socio-economic category, where she's been nominated because her focus is on the farmer of the future, and her project, Future Farmers Project, provides a platform for young people in agriculture and helping them to become successful farmers in their own right. Well, needless to say, Judy herself is a dairy farmer, and we have her on the line. Hi, Judy.
Hello, Nancy. How are you?
Congratulations, I'm very well. Thank you very much, and congratulations on being one of the finalists in the ShopRite Checkers Woman of the Year Awards. So you're a dairy farmer. How long have you been a dairy farmer?
Nancy, I started dairy farming probably 25 years ago, but I don't farm anymore. We still live on the farm, but we lease the farm to someone else to farm because there just isn't time for it anymore.
Yeah. There isn't time for it anymore because of the Future Farmer project taking up so much of your time, or have you just had it with farming?
That's more important, you know. Future Farmers is dealing with a lot of people, and me farming was just me dealing with a few cows.
Yeah. Yeah, so you decided that you wanted to share the experience. I mean, 25 years of farming is no small amount. How did it begin?
I think I come from a farming family, although I've never, I wasn't brought up on a farm, but I think that I inherited the farming gene, and it's just something that I had to do. But as I say, I realized at one point that what I was doing was for myself, and that there were a huge number of extremely talented, passionate young people out there that had absolutely no opportunity at all. Somebody had to help them.
Yeah. Well, you say you inherited the farming gene, and I suppose one does that, and I spent quite a lot of time over this weekend with farmers, in fact, and I think it's something that if you grow up with, you just get to know how it's done. So was farming in your family? I mean, have you been learning about it from the ground up?
Yes, my grandfather was a farmer. My dad wasn't so much into farming, but my grandfather was, and I have other relatives, and I just always wanted to farm from when I was very young.
The Future Farmer project sounds a little bit futuristic, and I'm thinking, I wonder how much farming will have changed in the 25 years since you started out. What are you offering these young people?
Well, first of all, the young people that I'm helping are the ones that have matriculated and have nowhere to go. There's no money to send them to colleges or university, and some of them haven't got good enough marks to go there anyway. But they do have passion. And what I'm trying to identify is young people with a strong desire to farm. Then what I'm doing is I'm asking the farmers out there in the community, the commercial farmers, to please take them on as apprentices. And these young people go out onto the farms and they learn everything. They start at the bottom and they learn everything that they can. I mentor them through the process, so it's terribly important for them to understand integrity and work ethic and so on. We want to produce managers and ultimately successful farmers. We're not just trying to put laborers onto the farms.
Yeah.
And after about 2 years, if they do very well, maybe sometimes 3 years, we send them overseas on an internship.
Gosh, I was going to say, it sounds a little bit like an internship is exactly what they're doing. But, an intern who comes along green, as it were, is going to be absolutely no use to a farmer, and they probably will end up using them as a labourer. So do you give them any sort of advanced training, give them the basics before you send them to the farmers?
No, they go out onto the farm and they start learning from the bottom. As they learn how to do the basic things, they slowly work up through the system. And the farmers are a critical part of this process because they are teaching these people the things that they feel they need to know. When it's time for them to do the overseas internship, we are looking for the young lads that have really performed well. And it is absolutely amazing. We've got 4 lads in Australia and 2 in the United States at the moment. And one of the employers from the United States sent me an email about 2 weeks ago, and the email said, "Njabulo, I would trust with my life and my money and anything else." She said, "We've had over 200 interns on this farm over the years, mostly from Europe," and she said, "Njabulo is tops." And this is a young boy who has come from an impoverished community. He's been brought up by his mother on her own. He had no opportunities whatsoever when he left school. And somebody's going to give this boy a job as a farm manager when he gets back.
How long will he be in Australia?
He's in California, and he'll be there for 12 months.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
You mentioned young lads. Is this exclusive to young guys, or have you got any girls part of the program too?
I've got girls that I'm trying to place, and it's extremely difficult to put them onto farms as managers because traditionally men do not take instruction from women. And what is happening is the farmers are saying to me, even if I go with someone who's very, very promising, they're saying to me, we're not sure whether she'll be safe here, and we're not sure, we don't think that our existing staff will listen to her.
That's kind of bad news for farming and the fairer sex, as it were. As a woman who's been in farming, most of your life, is it an unsafe place? Is it a difficult place for women generally? And we do hear a lot about women farmers, but from what you say, it doesn't sound like it's that easy.
Well, it's not that easy. I think, you have to look at the African tradition, really, where traditionally men don't take instruction from women. And you won't find that in the more educated levels, but at the farm labourer level, that does seem to be a problem. What I'm trying to do is trying to get women into environments, for example, like poultry and horticulture, where there are more women employed. At the moment, we're working a lot with dairy in particular. The dairy farmers have really, really stepped forward and helped us tremendously.
You're looking basically at training up farm managers, from what you say, but what about young farmers who want to start up their own small farm, start their own businesses? Is that something?
Well, we're not really trying to produce small farmers. We're trying to produce big commercial farmers, and we've actually got 3 of our commercial farmers who are employing these young people who have been through the overseas training, and they would like very much to take them on as partners in their commercial businesses. So you might have a farmer with a dairy operation that's worth 25 or 30 million rand, and he's got one of our young men as a farm manager, and he's prepared to take him on as a 50% partner in that operation. And the reason why I think this will work is that traditionally in farming, sons take over from their fathers, and they farm with dad for maybe 15 or 20 years, and during that time they learn business skills. And what is happening is that these young men are learning how to farm, and they're very good farmers, but they don't have the ability to run a huge business, which is what a big commercial farming operation is. And if they were to farm alongside an experienced commercial farmer for 20 years and then ultimately buy him out as his son would, I feel that we will be setting them up for success. We have to be so careful not to push the lads into something that they can't be successful at.
Yeah.
I don't know, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, it's making sense. What I'm also sort of querying in my mind is the role of the commercial farmers to whom they're going. Is there something sort of formalised? I mean, do you have a sort of a certain structure that they go in with, or is it sort of quite informal, these young people, whether they're guys or girls, go along and just work alongside the farm, or is there some sort of formal practice, like tick boxes, like at the end of the year, we know that they have done X, Y, and Z?
No, we don't have a formal setup. It's just, you see, each farm and each farmer has different skills and different things that he's really good at. So the young lad will be learning what he can from that particular farming environment. We are hoping to bring in a course through a business called Business World, which would involve a day of lectures every week, and that will be specializing in business topics. But we haven't been able to get that off the ground yet.
Yeah, it sounds like there's quite a lot of work to be done, perhaps not least in persuading farmers to buy into the project. How many farmers are you working with?
Probably about 20-25 at the moment, and some of them have up to 4 young people. And then, of course, we've got another 6 farmers overseas, and we're hoping to send another 4 or 5 boys in the next couple of months to Australia and America.
I think you've been doing this for, is it 7 years?
It's about that time, yeah.
How many young people have gone through the program, through the Future Farmer project?
Well, we don't really have... The guys that started with us are still with us, so to speak. So what we're looking at is probably 40 to 50 young people, and they're literally from people that I'm looking for jobs for, right through to people that are top farm managers. One of our boys is managing a 1,000-cow dairy, and he is it's one of the top dairies in the country. So, they do have the ability, they do have the potential, and ultimately I want to see these young people running big commercial farming operations. I don't want them to have a 50-cow herd which isn't economical in anybody's terms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we go back to the issue of farming and how things have changed and how you really do have to understand the business of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, I think for me the big thing is that there's so many people with a passion that have nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have opportunities. And Future Farmers creates opportunities for them. We don't pay for anything for them. They earn as they learn. And even when they go overseas, I've got 2 sponsors. One is Underberg Farmers Association and the other is Saville Foundation. They pay for the lads to go over. When they get over there, they're earning in the region of 15,000 Rand a month, and they pay back half their salary every month. And when it's paid back, we use that money to send the next boy over. So it has to be sort of self-sustaining. But at the end of the day, all we've given them is the chance to prove themselves. And they're proving to be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, clearly you've learned a whole lot about business and socio-economic business as well yourself. But, I should have started with this, really. You talk about there being so many people out there with passion. How do you find them? Do they come to you? Do people know about you in the area?
They find me from all over the country. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they've found out about me, but I get phone calls just about every day from young people from as far away as Cape Town and Joburg and Pretoria. And I think it's just been a sort of a word-of-mouth thing. It's just they hear about it from other people.
Yeah, well, they will have certainly probably going to get a whole lot more phone calls now that the whole of the country has heard about it. But is it something? It sounds like it's a bit of a one-woman show what you're doing, though I'm sure you've got a bit of a team there. But is it something that could be started up in other provinces? Do you think?
Absolutely, and in other industries as well. One of the problems with education for these young people is the cost. And often when they leave school, mum and dad haven't got the ability to support the children while they carry on studying. And if they can earn as they learn, and we can bring about systems in different industries for them to do this, there are thousands of youngsters out there that will come along and learn. They're so keen, and they are intelligent, capable young people. We just don't. I don't think that we have any appreciation of the caliber of our youth.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that there's a great deal of untapped potential out there, and what better arena to go into than farming? Gosh. Thank you so much, Judy, and very best of luck. I know that the finals are still, or the awards are still some little way away, but I'm sure it doesn't sound like it's going to daunt you and the huge task that you've taken on. But very best of luck, and thanks very much. Future Farmer Project, if anybody wants to know more, have you got a website or what have you got?
Yes, our website is futurefarmersfoundation.com.
futurefarmersfoundation.com.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Very best of luck.
Thanks
Thank you.
very much, Nick.
Take care.
I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, well, we really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Okay.
Judy Stewart, she's a finalist in the 2012 ShopRite Checkers Woman of the Year Awards. And others in that same category are Miss Nialeti Mshwana and also Virginia Shuku. Sadly, we can't talk to everybody, but such good women doing such good stuff. And if you want to know more, www.womenoftheyear.co.za. And if you want to know more about anything that you've heard here on the show, check our Facebook page. It's Otherwise on SAFM. If you want to know anything else, just ask Hazel Mouazan. She's the brains behind it all. Says Hazel and Derek Fordyce, and I'm Nancy Richards. And up next this afternoon, talk with Ashraf Garda. But right now, 2 o'clock, time for the news with Vic Naidu.